Hey, everybody, you're about to listen to our conclusion to the Miami Trilogy, which consists of episodes about Francis Suarez, Joe Carollo, and Francis Suarez's father, Xavier Suarez, all of whom were mayors of Miami. About halfway through recording this, which is a pre-episode, we realized that the rest of the Miami Trilogy is bonus episodes. So to that end, we are just going to go ahead and unlock the other two episodes of the Miami Trilogy, and we will link them in the show description. So if you're listening to this and have not heard Francis Suarez and Joe Carollo, probably listen to them in that order before you listen to this episode about Xavier Suarez. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, Mayor fans. You're listening to No Gods, No Mayors in the morning.
In the municipality. Pality.
Sam, can we just fade up Imagine Dragons Radioactive after this?
We are doing a 30-minute rock block. It's the rock block, where we are going to be playing Five Finger Death Punch with no ads. What? There are no ads?
Oh, hey, mister, that sounds pretty scary to me.
Sorry, kid.
Forget it, Jake. It's Mayor Town.
All mayors, all the time.
102.1, the mayor.
We have more mayors than anyone else.
105.7, easy mayor.
What's cool about this one is that this is a free episode. So if anyone's like, maybe I'll give that No Gods, No Mayors show a shot.
Oh, yeah, I read Cory Doctorow's blog or whatever.
Yeah.
I could check out this thing that he's hyping. Let's get into an easy, accessible new podcast. You're listening to 102.5, No Mayors.
You're listening to Riley and the Sash.
Also, no mayors. That's the opposite of the show. Fuck. I'm washed. I'm clapped.
There are so many mayors in this show.
Yeah.
I'm just doing Toronto radio station stingers at this point.
I'm literally, the second we hang up, I'm getting on a plane to Toronto and I'm going to buy a terrestrial radio so I can check out the verisimilitude of your little fucking joke, Riley.
Thank you.
I'm switching to hostile. I think for the rest of the episode.
CFRB 1010, traffic and weather together at the top and bottom of the hour.
Yo, I didn't know the hour had tops and bottoms. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's called verse, Riley, if it's both.
The verse of the hour is 2:15 and 2:45.
The side of the hour is 30.
Yeah.
What's the show?
Oh, right. Welcome to No Gods, No Mayors. It's a podcast, not a drive time morning show. It's not a Toronto area drive time morning show.
You, the listener, are not sundowning and imagining yourself in a car in 1997.
You're not in Toronto right now. You're not driving in Toronto. Unless you are, but if you are, you aren't. That's the thing we will gaslight you about this.
Hey, by the way, real quick, if you're listening to this right now, like maybe in a relaxed state, like on the couch or in bed or something, wake up, you're driving a car on the highway in Toronto and you're about to hit a truck.
Oh, you're on the 401, one of the most congested highways in North America.
You're about to slam your car sideways into 3 of the weirdest named restaurants you've ever seen.
I was going to say, hey, Riley, if they're on the freaking 401, they don't have to worry about hitting anything because they're in stopped traffic. That's right. This morning, it's jammed up on the 401 all the way from Blower to Billy Bishop, everybody. It's a tough one out there.
Maddie,
yeah.
What's very funny to me is almost everything you said was completely accurate.
Yeah,
the 401 is a parking lot.
I know.
The problem is the 401 doesn't intersect Bloor. Nor does it go to Billy Bishop. Billy Bishop's on an island.
I know. I'm going there later.
Well, it's backed up so far, it's backed up to the island that it's not on.
Yeah, a bunch of guys are driving into the lake. Oh, look, here's the thing. Yeah. All right. It's No Gods, No Mayors.
Oh.
I'm your mayor for this episode, Riley. I'm joined by my co-mayors, co-hosts, and co-friends.
Given the amount of Toronto stuff we're talking about and how Toronto is so bad with traffic that they're just stocking the lake with cars like a fish, I assume we're going to be talking about Toronto or somewhere Toronto adjacent, right?
I bet.
Well,
probably.
Miami is spiritually Toronto adjacent, I think.
That's a fascinating suggestion. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, you could say that Cuba and Canada have a sort of connection in terms of its prime ministers. You could say that. It's a hop, skip, and a jump to Justin Trudeau as Fidel Castro's son or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome to No Gods, No Mayors. I'm Riley. I'm your mayor for this episode. I'm joined by my co-friends, co-hosts, co-mayors, November and Maddie. Thank you for being with me today.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Hello.
And that's right. I am completing the Miami Trilogy today.
Ooh, okay.
We started with Francis Suarez. Well, yes, it's going to be the Godfather 3 of the Miami Trilogy. Everyone's going to be like, they should have ended after Joe Carollo.
Goes straight to VHS. Kind of nobody's that interested. It's a coda to the Miami story. Yeah.
No, this one's
also
pretty good.
about fucking, what's the...
An opera house?
The Catholic freaks. What are they called?
Opus Dei. There are some Catholic freaks in this one.
I kept wanting to say Deus Ex Machina.
Do you have any idea how little the Catholic freaks narrows it down?
It kind of does. I'm not talking about the Jesuits. They seem fine. Don't email me about how they're not fine. I don't care.
We have 2 segments that we like to do before we get into our main segment.
That's true.
Oh.
They're called Drive Time.
The first one is called
Drive Time Radio Imitation Hour.
It's called the Drive Time Radio Municipal Addenda and Errata Hour.
Bunch of like toilet flushes, police sirens.
Addenda.
Addenda.
These are extra things we forgot.
Or had no way of knowing.
Oh. The unknown unknowns.
This is an unknown unknown.
We're blameless in this.
A Rumsfeld-style unknown unknown that's been sent to us by a follower on Blue Sky, so thank you very much. This was about an episode from a very long time ago about Willie Lantigua, the mayor of Lawrence, Massachusetts, who's often called the Latino James Michael Curley.
Yeah, this is Mr. Pavement, if I recall correctly.
It's about the paving, in fact.
Oh.
A resident of Lawrence, Massachusetts has sent us a personal account of the paving.
Heroin.
Mr. Pavement or Senor Camino.
So this is quoting from the post that was responded to us. They didn't do full sections of the street, for instance. So a third would be paved, and then there was a big lip that would immediately get shredded by snowplows. Work was scheduled at all hours. Traffic impacts were wild. And painting and striping didn't happen for months.
Driving perfectly slowly down the center of the road. That's the narrow strip of pavement with a chasm on either side of you is what I'm imagining.
Yeah, and it's every so often you just drive onto like an ice, like a glacier.
Yeah, Willie Lantigua very influenced by Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, I love to reenact the film Sorcerer to go to the market basket.
And there's more.
Because I'm a bit more of a hipster, I like to reenact the film Wages of Fear, which is very similar.
There is more. But worst was the ice. Because they did strips, they did the paving in strips, there was huge compacted ice strips that remained for weeks like giant speed bumps and traffic.
They had road seracs? like on Everest?
Correct.
Oh yeah, my dad was killed in an ice fall in New Jersey.
Yeah, we've built a perfect replica of the Khumbu ice fall that's exactly as fatal in Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Hey, my least favorite part of going to the fucking, I don't know, the Star Market is like driving past the rows and rows of frozen corpses on the side of the road in the ice chasms, because it's actually too costly to clean them up. So they have to just leave them there.
Turn right at Green Boots and then you're at my house.
Just a bunch of like empty oxygen canisters stacked outside a Dunkin'.
So there were huge compacted ice strips that remained for weeks like giant speed bumps. Accidents went way up. I think they also deprioritized finishing driveways or curb cuts around properties.
I'm just thinking about how unpleasant the word Sherpa is in a Boston accent.
Sherpa? Sherpa? It's a bit Australian, actually. Oh, yeah, Ray. Promise to be the Sherpa of this great nation through the missile crisis. My head will never go back and to the left.
JFK did not have a fucking Boston accent, by the way. He spoke like an alien.
No, you gotta think more like The Departed.
The Departed. Yeah. My fucking ankle. No, I can't get there. I used to be able to do it when I lived there, but it's gone now.
Everyone who knows me knows that my JFK impression is the voice from Clone High.
It's the voice from Clone High. I understand. That's also my JFK impression. It's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing ever bad happens to the Kennedys. And you drive on the Willie Lantigua's road and you flip right over in your little car.
I think they also deprioritized finishing driveways or curb cuts around properties of Willie's more outspoken opponents, but it was never proven.
I love the idea that the cultures of like the Himalayas in Nepal and Massachusetts just switch. So you go to Everest Base Camp and there's a bunch of drunk guys standing around with their shirts off calling you slurs.
Yeah. This
Okay.
this is almost like the opposite, but spiritually the same as Michael Bloomberg. I mean, we'll get to him eventually. But when there's a humongous snowstorm under him, and the only street in this city, and he was on vacation, and the only street, if I recall correctly, and the only street in the city that got plowed was one he lived on.
Incredible.
So I guess, I mean, in some way, the entire city was his political enemy and that he hated us and wanted us dead. But we'll talk about him.
I would now like to bring us from addenda and errata to a little segment I like to call Municipal Roundup. Yeah.
Yeah, kid.
Now, I have one. Usually we open this
That's
up
Boston.
to like whoever has items. I have one item and I have a very long mayor. So I'm going to do my item and then do my mayor.
Okay.
Okay. Complete shutout.
Yeah,
Total
fucking
control of item roundup.
This is the crazy thing about men is they're silencing our voices. I'm
know.
ready. So
Hey.
it's whatever is most inconvenient to Riley in the moment. That's the gender I treat him or her as.
I am gender fluid, but
Only
like
in my
as-
eyes. And, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. That's okay. Congratulations. We're really proud of you. It's a good start.
When it's annoying to Riley, she's a girl. And when it's funny to me to make fun of him, Riley's a man again. I'm degendering you.
Yeah.
I'm malgendering you, Riley.
That's right. I am gendered exclusively oppositionally.
That's right. Oppositional.
I have
Defiant
only
gender disorder.
hostile- I have only hostile
you
genders.
you don't even have a pride flag. You have a shame flag.
It's just a knife. It's just a
big
picture of a
thumbs
knife
down.
and a thumbs down.
Ah. So, this is from the Kansas City Star. Overland Park Mayor Kurt Skoog launches
Skoog.
last-minute Democratic campaign for Kansas governor. Skoog is reaching higher.
We said we hadn't heard the last of Scoop.
We did
and
say that.
I think there's only one way that this can go. President Scoop?
President Skoog.
What if Skoog is the one who fixes America? What if Skoog heals America?
Really funny if he doesn't. What if the thing that like, America's, Civil War II, what if that happens, but it's like the Perry Bible Fellowship? It's two guys in like pro-Skoog, anti-Skoog shirts just like punching each other.
Or if it's left Skoogism and right Skoogism?
Skoogism.
Oh, that's not pleasant to say or think
Hey,
about.
I don't like, I was listening to No Gods, No Mayors for a long time, and I really enjoyed it when they were doing drive time radio stuff. But then they were engaging in some anti-Skoogist thought, and I can't support that. I can't platform that.
So, as a mayor and a physician, Jen and I work every single day to help the people we serve, Skoog said in a statement on his campaign website.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought he himself was claiming to be a doctor on the
Both.
grounds that, like, okay, yeah.
At city halls and hospitals across Kansas. So it's like you're electing both. It's like you're electing the whole
Yeah.
both guys. Both
Did
of
you
them.
did you go see the guy who plays the like hot DILF doctor on the pit said that he thinks he has an equivalent level of knowledge to a third-year medical student? So
Is that what he said?
He
He's
should be
awesome.
a mayor.
yeah, he did.
He said it looking directly down the barrel of the camera, almost crying, I believe is how he said it. Yeah.
So at city halls and hospitals across Kansas,
Wow.
there's no time for culture
The
wars or
great
political
state
games.
of Canvas.
the Kansas
Of like
City Star.
Kansas. We're too busy focused on what actually matters most. That's how our government should work, and that's why Jen and I are in this race. So he's basically trying to be like, a vote for Kurt is a vote for Kurt and Jen.
Yeah, I am my wife. I mean, here's the thing.
My wife holds up half my house.
My wife holds up half the meat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also if we saw in Britain the Reform candidate who's running in Makefield when he was accused of being a misogynist was like, well, my mum's a woman, so I think
as the son of a mother,
he was literally like, well, I was raised by women,
or a woman.
so yeah.
You think that like Kurt Skoog is trying to get out ahead of something?
Yeah.
No,
He's trying to-
I would never accuse Kurt Skoog of anything.
He's trying to skoog
like
out
that.
ahead of it.
Yeah, I'm a true Skoog believer,
Yeah.
and I think that he's just trying to be an ally
Yeah.
as best he can by being like, I am my cool wife.
I also love a
vote
think
for me is a vote for
you
my
think,
wife.
yeah, you think my name is funny? Well, let me tell you, a vote for Skoog is a vote for Skoogs. So think about that.
Skoog squared.
Yeah, listen, I mean, if you're going to talk about left Skoogism and right Skoogism, every Juan Perón needs his Evita.
Every
Now,
Skoog Vita.
here's the thing.
Nope. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Don't
That's
cry
nowhere.
for me, Cantina.
Argent Skooga.
310 to Skooga.
That's
the
okay.
taking of
Anything
Pelham
else?
1-2 Skoog.
Last call for Skoog stuff.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
All the
Okay, but
Skoog?
Evita, but she's First Lady of Kansas is a pretty decent bit, actually. I would see that
She goes out on the
staged.
balcony, but it's the second floor of a house, and there's just nobody around because they're in Kansas.
Yes, and you never explain it.
Imelda Marcos, since she has 10,000 pairs of Skoogs.
If we, and by we mean the theater industry, which I'm not in,
Yes.
can stage Horny Oklahoma
Which I
and
saw.
Horny Cats, I think we can do Kansas Evita.
Listen, here's the thing: is I saw Horny Oklahoma thrice.
Ooh, how was it? The answer is you say it's just okay.
It's incredible. I went on the closing night and I wept. Whatever. It was so horny.
Riley's putting his hand up in the fucking Zoom call, and it just says Riley has something to say.
Bro, I didn't know you could put your hand up.
Well, it's Horny
in this one.
Oklahoma.
Horny Oklahoma was a staging of Oklahoma, but it was horny. You know Oklahoma, where the wind goes whistling down the plain? It was horny.
Well, it was the sort of
Okay,
thing
I
where
see.
Oklahoma was at the time, very quickly. This is Maddie's musical theater corner. Very, very. So when Oklahoma was first staged, it was actually kind of revolutionary because most things staged on Broadway were people in tuxedos and tails, like tops and tails, like doing refined dancing and singing. In Oklahoma, they're wearing fucking jeans on.
working for Mel Brooks.
Yeah. And like this Oklahoma, they're singing in fucking jeans and cowboy hats, and it was kind of revolutionary to show regular people on the Broadway stage. Now, fast forward to now where Oklahoma is considered very staid and old and boring and like corny, literally. But like, anyways, they did a staging of it a couple years ago that was really revolutionary and interesting and cool, and is my favorite kind of American art, which is America, by the way, is haunted. It is soaked in blood. You are a monster for living here. It rocks. It is the...
Interesting.
Yeah, anyways. Horny Oklahoma. It was great. I don't think they ever did a pro shot of it, which is too bad. And they served chili at intermission for free.
Pretty unusual.
Unusual
I think.
and cool.
Unusual and cool. Now,
Thinking about how few bathrooms most theaters have and just worrying. Anyway.
that was a very brief municipal rodeo. Municipal
Yeah,
roundup.
it's fine. I can divert this some more to talk about pissing in theaters.
However, I have so much mayor here for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I was like, I feel drawn to complete the Miami trilogy. And when I began putting this together, I don't understand almost why. I do understand why I didn't begin with Xavier. And Xavier there's a lot here.
So you started us in the Miami trilogy in medias res. And now you're like record scratch. You're wondering how I got here.
Well, what you're doing is alphabetically by first name, you know?
That's right. So Xavier Luis Suarez was born in Las Villas, Cuba in 1949 as the 9th of 14 children to a very observant Catholic family.
What?
You don't say.
Bizarre.
Hey, that's not that weird. My grandmother was one of, I think, like 16.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that weird.
Okay.
It is weird, but it's in contextually.
Within Catholicism. So there was an academic family who were highly observant middle-class Catholics. They were put under house arrest after the Bay of Pigs invasion for suspected counter-revolutionary activity, and then mercifully allowed to emigrate to the States where they would be someone else's problem.
So you're telling me this Cuban expat family was in trouble for counter-revolutionary activities?
Yeah, this is
okay. And there were a lot of them, and they were Catholic.
And you're telling me that Fidel just kind of went, okay, you're the US's problem now, and this, you know, they went into maybe politics in the US.
That's really strange.
Yeah, it kind of blew back on Cuba a little bit.
A little bit, maybe
a little bit.
Yeah.
So Xavier, he comes over when he's very young. And in fact, by the time he decides he wants to be a Miami politician, he needs to brush up on his Spanish because he basically doesn't speak it.
That's cute. That's funny.
But what he does as he grows up is he follows his father into the engineering trade. His father is a professor of engineering. He graduates from Villanova University in 1971. Then he goes to Harvard for a joint JD MPP, one of the most cursed degrees you can get.
That's a Juris Doctorate. What's the MPP?
Master of Public Policy.
The Master of PP.
Yeah.
Doing American PPE?
Yeah, he did.
Horrifying.
He did but a PPE is a sort of degree for dilettantes. MPP is a degree for wonks. He's a lawyer, wonk, engineer.
You got to be careful around this guy. He is a master of PP.
He graduates in 1975. Immediately moves to Miami to start.
You masters of wonk.
You princes of Cambridge.
He immediately moves to Miami to start his law career, but it also starts running for local office like right away. If you wanted to put on a little bit of a tinfoil hat, you would notice, hey, he had no interest in politics until he went to Harvard, and then he was immediately involved in anti-Cuba politics in Miami. Weird, after being an engineer. So this is a New York Times article that ran shortly after his election victory against Maurice Ferré in 1985. You may remember Maurice Ferré from our Joe Carollo episode. Mr. Suarez lives modestly with his wife Rita and 4 children. He's active in church work and is a committed anti-abortionist.
Cool.
He's a devotee of exercise. This is from an article in 1985 where like, he's a proud anti-abortionist and he's a devotee of exercise are kind of the same thing.
That's awesome.
Just hobbies
That's really
that you
cool.
have.
Yeah, he firebombs some abortion clinics and he jogs. Both of these are equally fringe hobbies at the time.
Yeah. And also useful in conjunction.
Wait, well, it says here that the exercise is pick up basketball. So number one, I'm going to say, cool. We'd love to hoop around here. But also maybe he's anti-abortion because he thinks it's really funny when you put the basketball under your shirt and pretend that you're pregnant. And he doesn't want people to stop doing that.
No, he's like, if we abort kids, then there's not going to be anyone to play pickup basketball with.
Yeah, aborted basketball player. I could have checked you, Anon.
I could have set a screen for you. We could be running the 2-man game right now, and yet I've been aborted.
Jogging a few miles a day and enjoying pickup basketball. Jeffrey Watson, one of his black advisors, said the mayor was proud of his slam dunks.
Sure. Oh, yeah, he's dunking. Awesome. I love. How tall is Xavier Suarez?
I actually didn't capture that as part of my notes. He is.
I mean, I don't know. They don't often have the height of the mayor listed.
Yeah, it also does not say. This is a real
I will say,
shame.
looking at photos of him, this man does not appear to be tall.
No,
he does not. I mean, what's funny to me is boxing has autists, right? I know baseball has autists.
Yes.
Like when there was a boxing match in like one town that barely even exists anymore, I was able to find the exact stats for, like per round for that. But this guy, like basketball, maybe no one cares.
Hold on, I disagree.
Okay, all right. And I want to go back to the Times again.
Okay.
And this is about his vibe in politics. This is a very covered man. So this is going to be an episode with a lot of long quotes.
Okay.
Because a lot of the coverage is just so baffling. It's from the same Times article. In the past, men with his education would skip the dead end of City Hall and go into the legislature or try for Congress, said Mickey Minigori, a 29-year-old ally since Mr. Suarez first vainly sought a city commission seat in 79. But he's a lot like us who grew up in Miami. He did not grow up in Miami. He grew up in D.C. His roots are here and he's loyal. His roots are not there. His roots are not in Miami at all.
Is he loyal?
Well, he's very loyal to the Cuban expat community in Miami, that's for sure. He really wants to make it a better place to live. Such statements are greeted with more than a pinch of skepticism by members of Miami's professional and banking community who backed his opponent, Mr. Masvidal's campaign. Mr. Suarez, in a failed effort 2 years ago to unseat Mayor Maurice Ferré, a Puerto Rican, helped polarize the city by appealing to Cubans to elect a fellow Cuban. In places like the Miami Club, where non-Hispanic white bankers and lawyers eat, he is viewed as a smooth, ambitious, and emotional man, but a decent one. They worry that he might continue attacks on the downtown business establishment to the point of poisoning the weakened Miami business climate, and in the words of one member, polarizing the community into a Latin American banana republic.
Okay, this is so funny, talking to the last Anglos left in Miami who are like, yeah, this Hispanic guy, he's too emotional, as is his temperament, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just like, there's like half a dozen of these guys left. They're all having dinner with each other. It's crazy to go in there and be like, what do you guys think?
Going to open the door to the club to leave, and it's just like a humongous crowd of Cubans and Jews just standing there waiting impatiently so they could take the fucking restaurant over. With their yelling. Yeah.
This is like the last English people who live in like Porto. And have like all of the sort of the old port families and their social clubs they made for one another. This is like so weird that it's like, well, the Anglo establishment in Miami is like, oh my God. So I'll talk about his first campaign, 1983. He runs against Maurice Ferré, who's a Puerto Rican who's popular among black Miamians. And this is a really big thing in Miami, where it used to be a city where the division was white-black.
Yes.
And then after the Mariel boat lift, it becomes white, black, Cuban. And the Cuban influx was definitely not friendly to the black majority of downtown. shocking.
Wait. You're telling me that there might be some like racism amongst like Cuban
upper class Cuban counter-revolutionary people or racist? It's really strange.
I'm glad you're sitting down because I didn't want you to be shocked.
Are there any like racial dynamics to the regime in Cuba at all? Or, no. Okay.
Let me check.
Okay.
Let me check. Oh, sorry. I have to. Yes, quite significantly. I have to correct my previous.
For the listener, Riley just left and came back and like slammed down like 14 books and then was sitting there reading them for 3 hours.
Yeah, this has been a big cut.
This is big cut.
Yes, I have to correct myself from before. Yes, that was like one of the biggest dynamics of all of the dynamics of Cuba. It's weird that they were so anti-black. Anyway, Ferre won in 83, partly because in press it is written that people were sympathetic to him after Joe Carollo's famous onstage betrayal, which we talked about in the Joe Carollo episode, where he's called up to endorse Maurice Ferre and then says he's a unrepeatable slurs. And then everyone's like, hey, you did Ferre dirty. However, here it is in a 1983 Washington Post article. Suarez, 34, a resident of Miami's Little Havana district, lost 2 earlier races for the city commission. The Harvard-educated lawyer pitched his mayoral campaign towards the 60% of the city's population that is Hispanic, Cuban, or white. Palm cards prepared by his supporters urged, Cubans, vote Cuban. Suarez proposed local police precincts, police foot patrols, and a $5 million jobs program that he said would provide salaries for 400 unemployed people. Also, by the way, at this point, political cartoons distributed by Suarez's organization, which we'll get into in a bit, portrayed Ferre in a phone booth talking to Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro is also in the phone booth? They're just both crammed in there?
I think he's like, hi. I think he's got a speech bubble.
No, I understand.
I love you, Fidel Castro.
Yeah, he's getting his like marching orders, right? Because to be one of these people is to assume that the entire world is like, like racistly oppressing you, but from the darker skinned direction.
Yeah, it's
100%.
An entire
these people
population being gang stalked by one man in another country.
These people, I cannot stress this to you enough, and this is probably of all the episodes we've done, it's clearest with this one. These people are all fucking deranged. So this is what Mayor Ferre said after he won. To Xavier Suarez, I extend an olive branch, but not the laurels of victory. That will never happen as long as he allows himself to be manipulated by the hate mongers of this community. In this case, the hate mongers we're talking about is the Cuban exile community, as well as, weirdly, the richest used car salesman in North American history.
They're going to, in 300 years, if we have history books, the story of the late 20th century and early 21st century is going to be fascism taking over the world, powered by car salesmen. I think that's like the...
Pat Wyman's been on this, like that's the American gentry right there.
For sure.
So this was a guy called Norman Brahman, who also used to own the Eagles.
Norman Brahman? Oh, yeah, it's not spelled the same way, but...
Yeah, from Boston, weirdly.
Yeah. There were still a lot of Anglos at this time. Like this is still the 80s. But yeah, it's definitely the writing very much on the wall demographically. But most of them went to Raul Masvidal, a wealthy banker. He lost in the runoff and Suarez was in, and the hate mongers who backed him. So, any case, unfortunately, in 85, Suarez runs again. And this time, Ferre had lost the support of the black community, who he fumbled, who defected with many of the city's Anglos to a guy called Raul Masvidal, who I mentioned earlier.
Sorry, with many of the city's Anglos, there's a real, like, together Albanians and Chinese comprise, like 1 billion Maoists. It's like, yeah, sure.
Let's talk about his first term.
Okay.
And I want to talk about a little bit about what he did and who backed him. So what's striking is that a lot of the literature says is that his first term, from 85 to 93, or his first, like, block of terms, his first 2 terms, was when Suarez was, quote, Mayor Potholes, who was a sort of dorky urban planner who treated the mayoralty like an engineering problem.
Kind of Mayor Pete without the kind of smiler aspect, I guess.
Genuinely, yeah, like he's a trained mechanical engineer. He is a lawyer. Like, he's a very methodical person at this point. But there's been this memory of him that's been allowed to persist that is this quite serious and sincere mayor for everyone who was concerned with things like potholes and schools and affordable housing and stuff like this. He was concerned with those things, but because there's sort of 2 parts to his mayoralty, like a lot of like the news media remembers him as one mayor one time and then crazy the second time, which we'll get to. But I think we'll see this is not really quite right. This is a convenient
He was
story.
he was the first as tragedy, then as fast guy.
Yeah,
but himself.
Yeah, quite. So but he's known as Mayor Potholes. Like that's what he's literally called, and he's proud of this. Like this is what he wants. And yeah, he's this dorky urban planner. The Miami Times has this. And so Suarez became the city's first Cuban-born mayor, and his visionary leadership had him looking no further than the blue slips of paper he kept tucked in an office binder. On each slip was a specific problem he had noticed or that had been called to his attention by a citizen. A pothole on Flagler, a broken traffic light in Biscayne, an empty lot strewn with garbage in Little Havana. These were his priorities.
My debris.
Yeah.
Sorry, is he the first sewer fascist?
Maybe the second. As mayor, the joke went, Suarez made a great public works director. But regardless of his personal virtues, as mayor wants to fix problems rather than, say, enrich himself personally. And remember, when thinking of any virtues he has, that he's this super religious, conservative, counter-revolutionary, like fascist. He was completely in hock to the Cubans vote Cuban community. Totally. So he's this competent mayor, quote unquote, getting things done, but he's completely a creature of Jorge Mas Canosa's Cuban American National Foundation, which is basically Cuban Tammany Hall, but what if it had national influence?
Oh, cool.
Like Miami local politics was how the Cuban exile community exerted national influence on everything. And what's crazy is this is why they all hated Joe Carollo, because he was like the Russian Liberal Democratic Party, like Vladimir Zhirinovsky of the Cuban exile community. He was the like, we should nuke everyone in the world right now in case they're a communist. And he got to be mayor like twice.
It's wild.
And so it's like, Xavier is like the mainstream ice-chewing, swivel-eyed fascist who's the sort of left-wing alternative. He's the left wing of the Cuban American National Foundation, and Joe Carollo is the right.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Suarez is the CANF's creature through and through. So there are a few events that happen in his tenure that he has to struggle with because it's so racially charged. In 1989, an event occurs called the Overtown Riots. Overtown is a relatively impoverished, primarily black neighborhood of Miami. And Latino police officers in Overtown shoot black men. They do it a lot. There was an event in 1989 where police officers shot a black motorcyclist who was alleged to be fleeing. And this shooting caused a riot, partially because two other similar events occurred in the last couple of years. Like Latino police officers shoot black men in Overtown. This happens. Suarez, he tries to intervene personally in the riots. And again, this is remembered as a little bit of community building heroism from him, but you have to read a little further. So this is quoting from the LA Times. When Miami Mayor Xavier Suarez came to the corner Monday and started to talk to the angry crowd, bottles and rocks began to fly. I promise I will order a full investigation tomorrow at 8 a.m. But someone in the crowd shouted back, "What are you going to do now?" Suarez was forced to retreat.
It's like, I'm working on this suitcase full of debris.
Yeah, I have to fill several potholes overnight before I can get to the police keep murdering people that you know in your community.
I have to wait for the investigation office to open at 8 a.m. I'll be right outside.
So one local resident said, he was here for about an hour. He asked us what could he do to calm the people down. I told him to give us a reason for the cops shooting us down in cold-blooded murder. The problem in Miami is Ronald Reagan and Oliver North giving funds to the Contras, stirring up all that unrest. Dan Washington, a black Overtown resident, said, now the people can't stay in Nicaragua. They want to come away. When they get to the United States, big as it is, Miami's where they come. And Suarez is there to meet them at the bus station just about. He's telling them, you want to come to our stadium? You need jobs? Never mind the sleeping in the streets. Just step right over them. Okay. So this is the mood towards Xavier Suarez from Miami's formerly black majority, which is he clearly hates us. He wants, like, this is a great replacement theory that's actually real, which is the Cuban American National Foundation wants to ethnically cleanse Miami. They want it to be a Latino city with no black people in it. They want it to be a right-wing Latino city specifically. Yeah. They don't want any Nicaraguan. They want Contras. They want Cuban exiles. They want this to be the base of counter-revolution in America, and they do not want to see a black person.
It's to be inverse Havana.
They want to be like Operation Condor Town.
Yeah, this exactly right. Yeah. They want to have a bar called the Strangled Nun. So Then there's some other events, right? This is the controversy on Watson Island. So let's all remember Joe Carollo here.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember a part of the Joe Carollo story where he calls out Xavier Suarez's corruption over a real estate deal that would have enriched a lot of the wealthy CANF Cuban machine guys. This is actually when Jorge Mascanosa challenged Carollo to a knife fight.
Yeah, I of course.
Yeah. And this is the other thing Suarez was here to do. Enrich the CANF guys, not himself. And Carollo was wild, but he hated the CANF. And he was their primary political adversary because A, he wasn't on their team. He was a rogue right-wing agent. He was too right for them. B, they considered him to be a brutish street thug as opposed to their slick, whole of government, engage the president approach.
It's sort of less Zhirinovsky and more like this is Putin and Prigozhin.
Yeah. It's Prigozhin. And the third reason that Carollo said the entire Watson Island plot and the CANF broadly were communists. They were all Castro influenced.
It's so okay. So Castro, one of the luckiest people in history in a lot of ways, just by virtue of you dump all of these people on the U.S. and eventually Marco Rubio is going to kind of starve the entire island into submission. But before then, you get like decades of these guys calling each other communists, having each other assassinated, threatening and like having each other like having knife fights with each other. That's magical.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, look, with enemies like these.
Yeah. If I were Cuban intelligence, right, I would just be going to Miami all the time and just spreading a little bit of money around in the right places and whispering in the right ears just to be like, hey, that guy wants to challenge you to a knife fight.
Yeah, you can almost spell the name Castro out of the letters in Carollo. I've actually written it on a whiteboard and I'm rearranging the L's to turn into a T, and that's Catro, and you're right there.
Yeah.
Planting cigar butts in his office ashtray.
He's actually, I heard he's the lost Castro brother. I heard he's the third one.
So basically, Suarez is his machine's pet and Carollo was its right-wing antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And which is also why the usual method of discipline the CANF used, which is friendly talk radio show hosts who would produce anyone who put a foot out of line, didn't work on Carollo, which is why Carollo was actually hard for Suarez to beat. Because that only works from the left, doesn't work from the right. So this is also when two things happen in quick succession.
Just thinking about being the kind of like paid talk radio show host who's like, setting out to smear this guy, and he comes right back on you with "you were a communist."
Yeah, and it works every time. But so this is then two things happen in quick succession that I think give Xavier Suarez a mental breakdown that he never quite recovers from ever.
We broke the sewer fascism guy.
This is gonna be horrible news for the sewers.
The first is to do with the horrifying racism of the Cuban exile Miami community, and the second is Suarez saying, "I think I can fix this."
Oh, because he's like the Harvard guy who's trying to ride the kind of like contra-fascist bloc. Yeah, I can sense some problems there, maybe.
So the thing one we've actually discussed in the Francis Suarez episode, which is the Mandela snub.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a huge turning point in local Miami politics when Black Miamians now start feeling the city is actively hostile to them, all of them. Because basically, to remind everybody, Mandela's 4 months out of prison doing global tour, thanking everyone who supported him. And he often had kind words for Fidel Castro. Of course he would. Fidel Castro supported him.
Mm-hmm.
And he would not renounce Fidel Castro, even though a bunch of South Florida mayors who did nothing for him got pissed at him for it.
Why would you renounce the guy who sent like military aid to Angola over South Florida?
Yeah, genuinely. You know? Like, why? Like, what have you done for me ever? Not even lately.
Mm-hmm.
So Suarez was, and it's crazy he was ever going to do this anyway, going to issue a proclamation in support of Mandela and give him to the key to the city. The CANF and the radio show host said, no way. So Suarez, typically brave, recanted, and then Miami was immediately boycotted by all manner of Black organizations for the next 2 years, and it had tens of millions of dollars of economic impact. 6 months post-snub, Suarez issued the following non-apology. Words can barely begin to describe the pain I feel over the division since Nelson Mandela visited this community. Cuban Americans particularly empathize with his nearly 30 years in prison.
Yeah, and so trying to thread the needle voice. Yeah, the clerk was exactly like Castro.
Yeah. That is the argument he is hoping lands. He is hoping he can do a horseshoe theory thing.
Whoa.
So, but Suarez, you're Xavier Suarez. Imagine this. It's June 1990. You're Xavier Suarez.
Okay.
And you need to rebuild trust with the Black community fast.
Mm-hmm.
What do? You look out the window, see the nearest Black guy, and proclaim a day for him.
Oh.
Any black guy.
Oh, okay. Is that that's what I've done in this scenario?
Hey, you've looked out. The first black guy you've seen. Hey, is he wearing a big Star of David?
Oh. Okay. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of Jews in Miami. That makes sense.
October 7th, 1990. Suarez issues a formal proclamation declaring that it is Yahweh ben Yahweh Day in Miami. Yahweh ben Yahweh, the leader of the Brotherhood of Yahweh, is a black Israelite in Miami.
Yes. Okay,
Hoteps are
let's
here.
fucking go. I love these guys so much. They should have a day. They should have all 365 of them.
Riley, it's funny that you say you're Francis Suarez. What do you do to me? Because this guy is going to be wearing a pharaoh hat, chasing me specifically down the street.
Do we want to explain black Israelites just really quickly?
Do they have hoteps in other countries, or is it just America?
No, it's a purely American phenomenon, it's a beautiful one.
No, but you want to run with this?
Okay. What if you had a cult of black people who were convinced that they were the true biblical Israelites, in the same way that like a lot of British people did in the 19th century, had British Israelitism, or Mormons. Yeah, it's been voguey at different times for different people, but who organized themselves in such a way that they will just kind of stand on street corners and just berate people about the sort of lost tribes of Israel. And would you believe that they have a somewhat antagonistic relationship on that basis to Jews who they do not consider to be Jews because they think they're the Jews?
Yeah.
There's actually a very good old comic on the website, The Nib, that I worked at for a long time by an artist called Chris Kindred who was black, about the Hotep issue in the community. And the other thing is they are massively, massively homophobic as an organization. Crazily. Yeah. So it's also crazy in Miami to be like, you know who gets a day is this guy who hates Jews and gay people. Which I'm sure Miami doesn't have a lot of.
So the crazy thing is, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
It's like that would have been, if in retrospect, if Xavier Suarez could have been like, they just hate Jews and gay people. Okay, thank God I dodged a bullet. No, it's worse. The Brotherhood of Yahweh, this black Israelite sect in Miami, a cult, had this reputation for doing community work, quote unquote, cleaning up the streets. They were often talked about. But also they were like black separatist economic empowerment. Also committed numerous racially motivated cult murders. And the FBI had been investigating them for years already. And they were already linked to this guy in public.
So regardless of your feeling about the murders, kind of a bad move politically, I think is what's going on. I think this is sort of what they would call a flub.
I think maybe Suarez had either just read Settlers or he was like really desperate. He was like, okay, every black person is mad at me for the Mandela snub.
Yeah.
I need to think of the first black person I can and proclaim a day for them.
Surely there's a different community leader. Surely.
He just went with the first one he found.
I think it's Nova. I kind of genuinely think that's what he did.
Like what he did is he adopted the same policy where he was like, okay, so we go in reverse alphabetical order for first name, and we find the first guy.
So, would you believe that this does not solve any of the problems and only creates further problems for Xavier Suarez?
I note that this guy, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, was indicted a month after Xavier Suarez declared it Yahweh Ben Yahweh Day.
Like really, like just such good timing.
Yeah.
He was indicted a month after and publicly denying his connection to the murders like a year before.
Yeah. Okay, but why would a guy called God, Son of God, act like this? It's so strange to me.
So, anyway, like I say, would you believe this doesn't solve any of the boycott problems, which continue until just before the end of his term in 1992? Sick. And the thing is, he doesn't do much else in this time, except in this time, the Latin Builders Association, he does get them to donate $150,000 to renovate the only Catholic elementary school in the black neighborhood of Overtown. So, by the time his term ends, he says he's done with politics. He's going to go back to his legal practice, and an Anglo guy called Stephen Clark takes office. Then he dies of stomach cancer, and then Joe Carollo takes over for him as the mayor pro tem.
It's almost like being the sort of member of the ethnic group that like is still trying to make it work in Miami. Eating nothing but beef is maybe bad for your stomach.
Yeah.
You know?
I do like how this is less of like the Miami trilogy being completed and more like this is the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead of Joe Carollo's episode.
So it's at this point that Suarez returns from his legal practice. And my God, what a return. Of course, he had tried to return before, losing the much larger and more actually important Miami-Dade County mayoralty to Alex Pinellas, the machine's younger, hipper, smoother Xavier Suarez.
Oh, you got all about Eved by the Cubans?
Yep, he got,
That's brutal.
got all about Eve. But the second election, Xavier Suarez runs a pretty simple campaign, which is Joe Carollo is a lunatic and should be nowhere near power.
He's right on that one.
Yeah. I may be part of a political machine, but I am predictable, and this is somewhat correct.
Oh.
Anyway, the election proceeds, and Suarez wins a narrow runoff on the basis of absentee ballots. Or does he?
Okay.
Because allegations of wrongdoing plague the period between the elections and runoff. We're now going to go by date order.
Good.
November 14th, 1997.
Oh, I don't like that we're going to the day as well.
The day actually does matter at this point. Suarez is inaugurated into a city hall jam-packed full of Carollo's creatures, or more accurately, not Suarez's and the CANF's creatures. So he demands letters of resignation from everyone he thought wasn't personally loyal to him, including city managers he couldn't legally fire, because Miami had an executive mayor where the mayor might get veto power over lawmaking and some hiring, but is not able...
We talked about this with Francis Suarez, like the Miami mayor can't do shit.
Yeah. It's like there was a brief period where they could, and then Xavier Suarez did a bunch of crazy shit, and then the next time they had a mayoral election, they were like, back to the ceremonial mayor. Even they give him a little bit more power, not even a full strong mayor. They're like, no, never. No one should have this. Anyway, he tries to fire everybody, but also immediately starts acting strange. So this is from the Miami New Times, and it's worth reading the whole thing.
This is like finding a kind of medieval like chronicle where the king it takes a bad fall off his horse or like has like a bad jousting tournament. And then after that he acts a little bit more erratically, but they're not saying that. It's just kind of apparent in his actions.
I genuinely think that from my reading of him, the Mandela Yahweh Ben Yahweh 1-2 broke him as a person.
Interesting.
So this is from Miami New Times. From day one, Suarez wielded power like a cudgel. In a dizzying first 2 weeks, he canned half a dozen high-ranking bureaucrats, including Ed Marquez, the city manager. He appointed his ally, Humberto Hernandez, as commission chairman and gave him Marquez's old office at City Hall. While Hernandez was moving into that prime chunk of city real estate, the new city manager, Alberto Ruda, found himself sitting at a nondescript desk in the back of the mayor's office. All the controversies were duly reported in the Miami Herald, the newspaper Suarez denounced during his campaign. On November...
Hold on a second. A nondescript desk in the back of the mayor's office, like the actual room, like a cuck desk?
Yes. Yeah. He had like a little chair because he wanted to be reminded that he worked for the mayor, even though he did not work for the mayor.
That's incredible.
Good.
All the controversies were duly reported in the Miami Herald, the newspaper Suarez repeatedly denounced during his campaign. On November 22nd alone, 5 different Herald reporters contributed to Suarez-related stories, all of which were critical. The barrage of bad press grew so thick that on Tuesday, November 25th, Suarez visited One Herald Plaza to lobby editors for favorable coverage, parentheses. As dawn broke the day before, 2 off-duty police officers had watched as the mayor, clad in his bathrobe, leapt out of the car shouting, "What are these people trying to do to me?" as he hunted down a yellow Herald box. "I need to find a newspaper." Ladies, we are witnessing one of the most spectacular municipal crash outs in history.
Yeah, fucking.
It's Scorsese.
I was going to say Sam played
sure.
Jump Into the Fire by Harry Nilsson. Please, during the sequence.
So, one of the stories is also this. Humberto Hernandez was already under federal indictment on unrelated real estate fraud and money laundering charges at the time of his appointment. And also, like Suarez, immediately started trying to revenge fire people and failed.
That's incredible. Just musical cuck chairs.
Yeah. So Hernandez said, he, Suarez, knows what kind of person I am, saying that his indictments had nothing to do with public corruption and shouldn't be relevant to his appointment. Hey, all those crimes were private crimes committed against private citizens.
Yeah. So I'm not allowed to have a personal life, Your Honor? Okay. Nosy. Huh?
Suarez goes through 3 city managers in 40 days, as well as like 70 other high-ranking employees.
Is that normally how it works? Is that how many city
I don't
managers?
like that you're shaming him for that.
You,
I think people have different like needs.
Let's not slut shame the mayor.
I was actually doing fantasy mayor ball, and that sort of manager per month number is actually really hard to draft for. So it's actually kind of impressive to find him.
Well, it's a meta. It's actually the multi-manager meta, but it has to do with the game mechanics.
Right.
It completely ruins the immersion, but you do point max.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's no value for it, or like it's undervalued in the marketplace, but it's very valuable for the game. So it's kind of like a Moneyball approach.
Would you believe that all of these firings are immediately voided by the state attorney who says you can't do that?
Huh. It's almost like you have no actual power. Yeah. The guy doesn't even have to live in the sort of cuck chair.
I'm imagining, by the way, him still in the bathrobe doing all this, like running from thing to thing.
Oh yeah, do definitely do that.
Okay,
the vibe of him is in the bathrobe. And also, the mayoralty is placed under 2 kinds of administration at this point in receivership to avoid both prosecution and bankruptcy. It's placed in financial and political administration. But there's a third legal proceeding happening, which is that Joe Carollo's team smelled a rat in the absentee ballots and immediately brought a case to the Election Commission. A grand jury is impaneled. This is from the LA Times. Manuel Yip, a Cuban immigrant who ran a Miami restaurant before dying 4 years ago at 75, was found not only to have voted for Suarez, but to have cast post-mortem ballots in at least 2 other Miami elections.
This is the kind of thing that you learn by going to Massachusetts.
Yeah, I mean, this is the sort of thing about this, is we could be tearing each other down for doing this kind of behavior, right? But I believe in a better, kinder world where instead of getting mad at somebody for getting an advantage like this, we should be honoring this ghost for voting. Because it's really hard, because if I know anything about ghosts, right, it's hard to manipulate things in reality. So like the fact that this ghost is voting is actually quite impressive, and I think we should be honoring the ghost and celebrating the ghost.
The old-timey style bedsheet ghost, but it's got an I voted sticker on it.
Honestly, I voted sticker with a ghost on it. Pretty good.
Okay, all right. New merch idea.
New merch.
So agents of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement on Wednesday raided the Miami home of a 92-year-old political operative named Alberto Rusi.
Oh yeah, I forgot that all of these Contra guys are also like 100 years old at this point.
It's
like you're tripping over like the real JFK assassination rifle in the course of finding all of this stuff.
It's the ancient hitmen from that one arc of The Sopranos where they can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard you make coffees. So Alberto Rusi and seized 100 absentee ballots intended for the election, along with stacks of voter registration cards and absentee ballot applications. Rusi's
and like a third and fourth angle of Dealey Plaza for some reason. We found
doing the police like stuff on the table, like photo op, but it's hundreds of exploding cigars that they found.
So, Rusi's signature appears on Yip's ballot in the space marked witness. He just signed his own name. FDLE agent said Rusi claimed his name was forged. He was charged with 3 counts of election fraud.
Someone else was forging my signature and keeping it in my house.
Yeah, it's dastardly. That's the best way to get framed.
Yeah, it was Cuban intelligence. Surely.
It's Castro. Last Friday, a man wearing a Suarez for Mayor t-shirt was arrested after he tried to buy 3 absentee ballots bearing the names of dead voters. Miguel Amador, 44, was charged with vote fraud, a baby by the standards of the movement.
He was a fucking kid, you animals.
He was only 44 years old. Yeah, but also, just remember, Francis Suarez's campaign did the same shit.
Yeah.
Remember Believe Drunken Women?
Believe Drunken Women. That's true.
It's just, they were doing it for the millennial generation.
That was, Francis Suarez was, if I recall correctly, they were like bribing people to vote with free drinks. Is that what was going on?
Yeah, no, it's that they register people to vote improperly, but they hired only hot women to do it at nightclubs. And so guys kept buying the hot women drinks and they got too drunk to do it right.
And then they said that they were only shots rather than drinks.
Shots rather than drinks.
That's right. That's correct. Thank you so much for reminding me.
Now, December 14th, 1997, the Edna Benson incident. I'm quoting from CNN. I'm just going to quote from CNN here. I promise this is the right choice.
My mind is open.
Around 10:30 p.m. one recent night, Suarez arrived unannounced at the home of Edna Benson, 68, a retiree who had written him a critical letter.
I wouldn't stalk a young woman like this.
Dressed for bed and in curlers, Benson feared a burglar and grabbed a .38 revolver she kept by the door. She refused to open the door, and Suarez eventually left.
He could have been the first mayor to die in the line of duty to American paranoia, because I understand America is a nation that loves shooting people through their front doors, right? He could have been on the, Mayor Down memorial page.
He could have gotten a purple sash. So she put away her gun, a Taurus 85 model.
Of course it was a Taurus.
And said to CNN, "It's got those bullets that do damage."
Yeah, not like the Soapy Smith ones that seem to perfectly destroy the funniest possible organ and leave the rest of you completely intact.
Suarez said Saturday, "She wrote a very nasty letter.
Very nasty letter.
I call everybody or try to go by who writes a letter, good or bad, but I didn't have her phone number, so I went to her house."
Sorry, if you write me, the mayor of one of America's biggest, or a major city, a letter, I will come to your house regardless of the letter's contents, is an incredible thing to say as the mayor.
I'll have to admit, it was kind of late. She was in curlers and didn't want to open the door. The mayor was apologetic and said Saturday that he wasn't angry and didn't mean to appear so, and instead said, "I'm going to win her over." One headline, because there was lots of headlines about this at the time, my favorite headline from the time read, "After hours visit is no dream. It's the night mayor."
That rocks.
Been working on my nightmare.
Absolutely. This is a crash out for the ages. And there's more crash out. At an important Tallahassee meeting in early December, Suarez made an awkward and inexplicable comment to Governor Lawton Chiles about his, quote, very famous daughter for her abortions, and called a very prominent Polish state senator Senator Cabbage 2 times.
Number one, it's potatoes, right? That's what we go. Cabbage is, all right. I mean,
just a friendly PSA that if someone or one of your family starts exhibiting behavioral changes, maybe is starting to say things that are kind of inappropriate in conversation, it's a difficult thing to broach, but it's the kind of thing that maybe you should have investigated medically a little bit before, just so you know that maybe nothing's going on, but these things, they can happen.
So from there, he went immediately to New York City, where he tried to persuade bond rating firms that Miami was not in fiscal crisis. It was, in $63 million of debt and under so many different kinds of administration. He also twice broke down in tears before reporters and explained it by saying that his son Francis advised him to show his emotions more.
This is Tony Soprano. I'm sorry, this just is.
Yeah.
This is straightforwardly Tony Soprano.
And also, but you said he went to visit Moody's. Moody's downgraded the city's credit rating after the mayor's chaotic visit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, we actually trust you less now that we've met you in person.
He was the first person Moody's just asked to draw a clock.
I'm worse once you get to know me. This is less okay. I'm changing my sort of stake here. This isn't so much
Tony.
Yeah, this isn't.
This isn't Tony.
No, it's not. It's.
I think it's Junior Soprano.
This is Ziggy Sabatka.
Yeah. If this is any HBO character, yes, this is Ziggy Sabatka.
Sure. Okay.
Why did he bring a duck into City Hall?
It's like if Xavier is Ziggy Sabatka, then Francis is Little Carmine Lupertazzi. And Joe Carollo is Mustang Sally.
Sure.
So
Prompt oil. Fool the eye. Yeah.
Miami Herald at this point refers to Suarez as Mayor Loco. I'm quoting now from the Miami Herald. Mayor Xavier Suarez isn't pleased with the title, and for weeks he's threatened to sue Carl Hiaasen, a novelist and columnist.
Inventor of Municipal Roundup, Carl Hiaasen.
Yeah, to whom it was dedicated,
and his paper, the Miami Herald. Last week, to emphasize his peak, Suarez phoned the Herald's advertising manager and left a warning on voicemail saying,
"Yeah, I'm going to come to your house at 10:30 at night."
Well, he said, "I note that we are subsidizing you and your newspaper with ads related to the city," Suarez growled. Echoing a bit of Cold War lingo, he then urged the manager to, quote, "tell your maximum leader of the free world for the publishing company," which I think he meant the president of the Miami Herald.
That's such an insane phrasing that it makes me think. I was not joking about the maybe get medical help there, because he's starting to sound like Dutch Schultz.
Yeah. Something is wrong with him at this point.
Yeah.
to be a lot nicer to me, my people, my citizens, and my city. The state attorney then added this phone call to a rapidly growing list of investigations.
Sure.
By the way, the voter fraud investigation is proceeding apace, with new articles now being released on a weekly basis. Suarez goes on friendly Spanish language radio stations to remind everybody who speaks Spanish in Miami, you don't have to say anything if someone asks if you voted fraudulently. This leads to the greatest dishonor you can imagine for an American city, which is that Miami was named the most corrupt city in America for 1997 by George Magazine. 1998, Happy New Year. Xavier Suarez announces that he's going to be Miami's #1 crusader against voter fraud. He also appoints Chairman Humberto Hernandez, the guy indicted on like dozens of counts of real estate fraud, to lead a counter-investigation into the fraud investigation because it's Castro.
Well, he couldn't have done any fraud because he was too busy doing this other kind of fraud.
Yeah. Hernandez actually doesn't go through with it. And then Suarez, when asked if he's going to follow up with the idea, says, the truth is, I have not done anything in regard to that. At some point, I will do an investigation, but then again, I may not do an investigation. Though he does then unveil a new 3-point voter fraud initiative, saying, I'm going to turn the tables by suggesting ways in which we can go in the opposite direction.
Point 1, it was Castro. Point 2, it was Castro. Point 3, Castro.
He says we can go in the opposite direction to secure more ballots rather than disqualify more ballots. It's a neat idea on that. To me, that's the way we should be going. We should not be trying to make it more difficult. But the reason he's doing this, by the way, is because Carollo just has to disqualify 155 absentee ballots to get the election overturned.
Oh, wow.
While Suarez is trying to requalify as many of the 355 rejected ballots as he can to make Carollo's job harder, so he has to disqualify more ballots. This is also when a profile, and I hope you can hear the capital A and capital P, is published in the Tampa Bay Times. I'm sorry this is an episode of long quotes, but there are so many quotes from this guy. This is from January 1998. Hurricane Xavier, the mayor who can't stand still. Quote, the mayor of Miami, Xavier Suarez, is a terrible backseat driver. He's not a nervous person. It's just that he gives directions as if he's being chased.
See, I was consciously trying not to reference the Goodfellas scene, given that I keep doing it. But in this case, like...
I mean, Sam, can we get some helicopter beats over this next section? Just like make it sound like there's a helicopter in the background. Yeah. Go this way, he says, leaning into the front seat to point down a dead-end street of grubby warehouses. Okay, says the driver, a mild-mannered neighborhood administrator, who for the moment is leading a small convoy of mayoral aides. The U-turn seems unsettling, but not as much as perhaps the mayor's barrage of commentary on everything he sees at the car window. Quote, we need to open up these streets. This is killing us. We've got to get these tires removed from there. What the hell is this mess? Who owns this property? Probably someone who's been here forever, right? Out in the street, Suarez is happy, giddy even. It's oxygen for me, he says during a barnstorming tour of various supportive Cuban neighborhoods last week. By the way, the reason he's in these supportive Cuban neighborhoods is that everyone in City Hall who's now been rehired by the state attorney hates him and won't talk to him. So he just spends every day driving around Cuban neighborhoods, pointing at piles of garbage that he says, I hate that pile of garbage and will clean it up myself.
My debris. No, this guy is turning into Dutch Schultz.
Yes. Yeah. So the mayor's convoy comes to a halt with the street dead ends in a tangled thicket of trash and vegetation. Suarez jumps out and runs through the weeds before his aides exit the cars.
He's leaving like the cops are after him right now.
Like, the whole time. This is what I was imagining when I was writing this. I could only imagine it through like a helicopter top-down bird's eye view camera.
I had it on the like dash cam on like a cop car.
There's also an alternate reading here, which is he jumps out of the car and starts running through a bunch of vegetation, which is like quirked up white girl stuff. Like he's like manic pixie dream girl mayor. Running, like just like rolling around in the flowers. I think that's very cute to think about.
Let's have a date in the graveyard, said Suarez. So on the other side of the weeds are train tracks, which is where aides find their boss standing between the rails, hands on hips, striking a dramatic profile as he looks one way and then the other.
This is sort of Fordian here to be like, the mayor, we can't stop him. He's just running places and then doing things. He didn't get out of that car. He decamped from that car. He was deployed. But why is he here? This appears to be what's on the mind of a bare-chested man who pushes through the weeds to see what the commotion is about. The man, a worker at a nearby textile warehouse, said, I thought maybe there was a body back here or something. Suarez moves to him quickly, double clutches his hand and shoulder, and asks his name. Vincent Vaticano, the man says. The mayor
himself
repeats,
Vinny Vatican. The mayor repeats it before going into an impromptu discourse in Italian names. Santino, that's like Little Saint. Fiorello, that's like Little Flower. And there's a reason he says Fiorello.
He's thinking about the musical Fiorello.
Well, he calls these outings where he just drives around town, jumping out of his car, going crazy, LaGuardia days.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would call them cognitive slippage, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd call them episodes, perhaps.
If you find me running around my neighborhood in the nude, shaking people and screaming and running around, don't worry. I'm just having one of my Bloomberg days. It's what I call them.
The mayor is simply becoming schizophasic. It's fine. Don't worry about
Suarez
this.
leaves Vaticano to ponder the significance of this as he climbs back in his car. Vaticano, 48, the same age as the mayor, never does get an answer to what Suarez was doing on the tracks. But when asked about the mayor, Vaticano says, his mind's in gear. He's always doing something.
This is the guy who met the actual median American voter, but he met him the only way you truly can, which is by diving out of a still moving car and like jogging into the vacant lot behind his workplace.
And meeting him shirtless.
Asking him his name. Yeah, meeting him shirtless, asking his name, and going on a kind of like deranged tangent.
Yeah, don't worry about me, citizen. I'm just seeing the train from Stalker. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just looking down the tracks. God damn.
So,
I'm specifically thinking because him going Vincent Vaticano Santino Fiorello is it's like there's a name for it. I can't think of it particularly, but there's like a kind of association thing happening there that is like
automatic poetry.
Most commonly, associated with like schizophrenia and like and BPD. Like it's absolutely a thing. These sort of like linguistic features.
So
concerning.
Heedless of the traffic behind him, Suarez stops his car in the middle of the street to talk to another perplexed man who is holding a surveying pole. He picks up trash by the side of the road. He embraces street sweepers. He promises a homeowner he will rid an overgrown lot of snakes and rats. He spots at least a dozen random piles of garbage, pronounces them all major problems, and directs they be removed. This is me again. By February, Suarez is on trial. And in March, a new election is ordered, and the judge determines the previous election fraudulent. However, a higher judge says, no, we're not going to do a new election. We're going to recount on the basis of the legitimate ballots. And Joe Carollo is installed in office after 111 days of chaos with Xavier Suarez to implement 3 years, give or take, of chaos with Joe Carollo.
Just three months of the mayor is driving around and then like diving out through windows and pointing at piles of garbage.
Yeah, this is how he governed in that time. The consensus in the aftermath, by the way, is that Suarez didn't direct the ballot fraud operation for his own benefit, and indeed it predated him by quite a while.
He was a machine guy. He's the guy they sent to Harvard. He's in The Departed. He's meant to stay clean.
Yeah, genuinely. And it was the Cuban political machine doing what they do. Suarez's legal career, surprisingly, does not recover, although several fraudulent ballots were witnessed by one F. Suarez. So,
could be anybody.
What does Suarez do? Around 2004, he starts self-publishing.
Oh,
I can find a few books. Here's the publisher's blurb for A Unified Theory of God, Mind, and Matter.
So he's so okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So now he's writing the Mentaculus.
Yes. Yes, genuinely. Yes, he is.
We say the Mentaculus a lot on this show, but he's actually taking a shot at the Mentaculus.
I think this is genuinely a guy who looks too deeply into the sort of the abyss, right? The sort of Ollie North Contras Cubans thing. This is a guy who was shown the like secret sick angle Super 8 footage of JFK's head doing that makes you go insane.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to attribute what is fairly clearly a mental health episode at this point to Nelson Mandela snubbing him so much as like, no, you had to talk to a bunch of 90-year-old guys who are all still wearing uniforms covered in skulls about how they used to rape nuns to death. And you went, yeah, no, that's good because I want to fix the like sewers or whatever. At a certain point, that got too much for you. And you're just like, I've actually solved reality.
He stared too long into the howling void that is a pothole and it stared back at him.
It was like he was supposed to be a kind of Cuban Obama who was going to be Cubama. And imagine trying to make...
Just Fidel, once again, just like, if we send them to America, yeah, sure, they might try and make Cuban Obama, but like, the material conditions are going to drive them insane. Like, they're just going to go crazy.
I genuinely think that's what happened.
Just having a vision of this guy's entire career and the movie Scarface and going, yeah, go to America, see how you like it.
Wait,
you know?
So what is the unified theory of God, mind, and matter consist of, actually?
This book is a non-fiction version of Dan Brown's Angels and Demons, only without the angels or the demons.
Or the antimatter bomb is still in it?
It's a serious and strictly scientific attempt to make sense of all the knowledge acquired by our species during the course of history, weaving together the theories of humanity's quest for the harmonious understanding of nature. Its origins and its destiny entailed many mysteries. Solving those mysteries often required advancing novel ideas. Perhaps the most creative of all is the proposition that the Big Bang produced not just space and time, but order as well as a third dimension. This proposition is buttressed by the latest findings in astronomy, which suggests that order came quickly to our world as if delivered in a package, complete with ribbons and wrapping intended for our appreciation and use.
You know, I'm starting to look slightly differently at the whole Black Israelite thing. Maybe he had a couple of conversations with...
So, does that mean that the package was created by an omnipotent being, the god of theology? The answer to that question is not tackled until the last two chapters.
So he talked to so many hoteps that he became Anatoly Flamenco. Sure. Okay.
the first Cuban hotep?
He also wrote several other books, including On the Likely Origin of Species.
Swish. Take that, Charles.
Democracy in America 2010.
Okay.
Democracy in America 2020. The Wealth of a Nation. He's doing like Asylum Pictures, like Atlantic Rim for like the great books.
Yeah. He wrote the film Transmorphers. Yeah,
So, Miami Dynasty, How a Father and Son Shaped the Magic City.
Okay.
And then most recently, Democracy in America 2024. In the blurbs, he calls his Democracy in America books sequels to Alexis de Tocqueville, saying,
which I assume most Cubans have read.
Democracy in America 2024 is the third sequel to the seminal book in political science written by Alexis de Tocqueville in 1835. Following the method of de Tocqueville, this book seeks to explain the workings of democracy in the United States. One especially familiar and unique treatment of the Republican primary is given to the presidential candidacy of Francis Suarez, who happens to be the author's son.
So you're Francis Suarez, right? And you're sort of like, trying to be the Bitcoin guy. The whole time, you have to every so often go and see your dad, who's like ancient aliens.
Yeah. I mean,
that's so fucking funny. It's like, just like, sorry, I have to take a break from crypto hustling to talk to my aged father, who is gonna tell me that he's been to the third heaven. That he has seen the eye beyond the eye because E. Howard Hunt's bestie showed it to him in his living room. It's like just like a guy who just wanted to be Cuban Obama and was like, and 120-year-old man was like, check this shit out. This is the experimental plasma rifle we used to kill Jack Ruby in prison. And you're just like, yeah, sure, this makes total sense. I'm actually like in a sort of separate temporal existence from you. I'm like the ending of Interstellar. Everything's good, actually, maybe.
I looked too long at Joe Pesci's hair in the film JFK, and now I see time like Billy Pilgrim in Slaughterhouse-Five.
And now, I can't believe my shit-ass son is about to come and tell me Bitcoin fixes all of this.
This guy is experiencing every page of Gravity's Rainbow at the same time while his son tries to tell him about crypto.
Hey, Lot 49 is crying. That's a big priority for us at the city.
Riley, this is the most Pynchonian guy you've ever brought us.
I know. There's a reason I was trying to do this mayor earlier. It was not to do with scheduling at all. It was because I needed to get him out of my brain.
Pynchon character called Mayor Bathrobe.
Bafflingly, after all these books were written, after all of this, Xavier Suarez is elected as a Miami-Dade County Commissioner twice. in 2011 and
Well, the thing is, he experienced them both as being simultaneous events, you know. Just in my acceptance speech being like, listen, this is a sort of perceptual problem.
Yeah.
You didn't elect me. Everything's already happened. We're just slow to experience it.
He was elected in 2011 and 2016, and right smack bang in the middle of them was Francis's 2013 campaign, which was accused of ballot fraud on the Believe Drunken Women rail. Xavier Suarez ran for Miami mayor, saying, I've already written 10 books. I can only find evidence of 6. I've already written 10 books, and all my kids are grown up, so I want to do it again. One last time in 2025 against his hated enemy, Joe Carollo, who also ran. By the way, when we did our Joe Carollo episode, the final election hadn't taken place by the time the episode came out. Both Carollo and Suarez were eliminated in the first round, getting only 11 and 5% respectively of the vote, with Eileen Higgins, a Democrat, carrying it for Castro.
I think it's crazy that he saw all of these moments transpire when he first walked into City Hall in like a flash and then chose to sort of act it out anyway.
The first Dr. Manhattan mayor.
Yeah, it's like you kind of have to do it. Okay, so he's still alive, which is crazy to me. I assume that he's spending most of his time right now working with Terrence Howard on Teriology. The new method that Terrence Howard invented.
He was a consultant in the re-release of The Fall.
We all know about Teriology, right? Just want to make sure.
The special math Terrence Howard.
Sorry, I learned about this last week from a friend of mine. I'd never seen it for some reason. The Terrence Howard thinks 1 × 1 = 2.
So cool.
Trying to prove it for years.
I wish he should run for something.
Really
Terrence
should.
Howard, run for something.
Terrence
We
Howard,
want to talk about you.
Run for the mayor of Glendale or something, please. Please, Terrence Howard.
So anyway, this is the conclusion, the thrilling conclusion of the Miami Trilogy.
Fuck me. Riley, you said earlier before we recorded that this would cure depression. And I think it worked for me.
You have to go to Toronto now. You have to go to a surreal
I want to
city.
go to Rob Ford's grave.
You have to go visit a place called like Premium Injection Burger, where everything is spelled by AI.
I hate Riley. Don't worry. I've looked it up. The Premium Injection Burger is only a 45-minute walk from where I am staying, and I am highly considering
You have to go to Rob Ford's grave and hit the kind of pack watch selfie.
Yeah, where is Ron?
find-a-grave.com.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to Rob Ford's grave, but you're going to have to wade through a bunch of empty beer cans.
He is in the Riverside Cemetery and Cremation Center in Etobicoke.
Okay. I think Etobicoke. Where is that? Can I get to it?
That's West Toronto.
Can I get
to it? It's right there on the Bloor line.
Oh yeah. You know, I will
it's
say
right there on the fucking Bloor line.
It's all the way up. I wish if I was flying into Pearson, I'd be there in a minute.
He has a little photo of him on his own grave, which I like.
That he's got the shrouds.
He has Ford Nation on his grave.
He's got the shrouds vision on his grave.
Even in death.
You can see him aging and dying.
All right. Anyway. That is my mayor. That is the conclusion of the Miami Trilogy. Thank you very much for coming on this epic journey with me over the period of years.
Riley, you're a magician. I feel bad for this guy, kind of.
Yeah.
I think he really looked America in the face, and I wish that, he hadn't had to have done that.
Yeah. Honestly, no one should have to do that.
Yeah.
No.
So this is a free episode, I believe, and there are bonus episodes. If you want twice the mayors, you can enjoy 2x the mayors. There will be a bonus episode next week. I believe it is Maddie who is mayor.
It is Maddie that is the mayor. And guess what? I don't know who I'm doing yet. The mayor tag. I have to go talk to Xavier Suarez on the astral plane. So we were talking about for like season 2 of the show, which is we're deciding is going to start at episode 100, which is soon. That we are going to maybe think about a different theming outside of the cowboy era. We're not going to reveal it yet. But also maybe we retire the Mayortaculous and we start saying Xavier Suarez is speaking to us in our fucking cereal.
I think Xavier Suarez is just sort of a powerful sort of conduit for the Mayortaculous, which is why he's got all of those robes and the hats.
He's the Mayortaculous's first priest.
Yeah, no, it's like the Mayortaculous has many ways of revealing itself.
Sure, it's the god with 1,000 faces.
And what's interesting actually is that like the early like Yamnaya horse people from like the Caucasian steppe, they had a very similarly named god, the god of municipal nonsense.
The sort of monomyth.
The mayor no
Anyway,
myth.
so look, thank you everybody for listening to No Gods, No Mayors. Thank you to, of course, my lovely co-mayors, co-friends, and co-hosts for listening to my blathering.
Of course.
And we will see you on the next episode of No Gods, No Mayors. Stay municipal, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.